Hello, I'm Paul Pluta, and welcome to Paul Pluta Prestige. Today I'd like to talk about a very, very special Rolex. And it's a piece from the early 50s, and it's a Rolex Moonphase. And have a look at it. It's just absolutely amazing. It's a Rolex Moonphase triple date. And as soon as I saw this piece, I knew it was special. And I was working for a watch dealer, and it came in, and oh my God, it's just so beautiful. And it's reference 8171. And the only qualms we had was we weren't sure whether that bezel is correct for the piece or not. It's got a gold bezel. It looks like it's been fitted there for quite some time, but I'm not sure whether that's correct because it looks like a steel piece. But who's to say it's wrong or not? It's certainly, you could argue it's got a lot of patina on that bezel, so it could be right. So but I've got to say, this came in, out of working for this watch dealer who was turning over millions of dollars a year in stock in vintage watches. This is probably one of the top 5 most beautiful watches, and I'm really sad that Rolex doesn't do pieces like this now. I mean, they've got the Sky Dweller, and then that's an annual calendar, and it's great, but man, if they brought back a piece like this, there'd be a huge market for it. It's just so beautiful. It's so... if only this piece could talk. And I looked at this piece, and it's just magnificent. In vintage watches, this is what it's about. I mean, it's just... this is the sort of thing you'd climb into your early 60s Ferrari. You'd have this on your wrist, and you just, you don't give a shit whether the tart in the massage parlor realizes, oh, what's that old watch on your wrist? This is just beautiful. It's for people who know, and it's just, I don't know what to say. It's just magnificent, and I'm really, really pleased to have these pictures here and to be able to bring this to all my YouTube audience there. And these vintage Rolexes are very, very scarce, and I can only see them going up in price. I mean, you talk about collectible watches. I think this is it's a magnificent piece. It's magnificent, and I've never seen another one. That's for sure. And I gotta say, the investment potential of this is huge. It's an automatic. It's a 1950s Rolex, automatic. Okay, perpetual, which means it's automatic. It's a triple date, so it's got day, month, and day and date. Sorry. It's got a Moonphase. And it's a big size. It's a nice big size, which really, that's quite unusual for the time. And my God, this here, I'd almost have the, I think I'd slit, those Ferrari 2+2s, like a 330 Americana. That's the sort of car you'd match with this piece here for just, you'd make James Bond look like a unsophisticated slob. I mean, this is just class. And I've got to say, I love it. I touched this piece. I remember it. The dealer I was working for got it in. It went out pretty quickly. And, it's one of those things. Look, I never had the money at the time to buy this. I mean, this was an expensive piece. But it certainly would be a fraction of the price that it would sell for now. And it's just beautiful to see things like this, and it's probably, out of all the watches, vintage watches we're talking, out of all the vintage watches I've handled, this would probably be in the top 5. Okay, let's go through the scoring for this piece here, and I must admit I'm deeply in love with it. For the brand, I give Rolex a 7. Okay, we give it a 7. For the significance of this model, I'm going to give it a 10. For the movement on this piece here, I'm going to give it a 10. Just the way it looks to me is beautiful. For the quality and finish of this piece, 10. The Paul Pluta Prestige rating, 10. I'm giving this piece here 47 points, and I'd swap it for my annual calendar in an instant. I'm Paul Pluta from Paul Pluta Prestige, and I hope you've enjoyed this Rolex triple date Moonphase.